On August 17, 2025, tragedy struck when 6ix9ine's girlfriend, Ariela Langosta Maya Paleno, was shot and killed in New York. Now, shocking new footage of 6ix9ine behind bars has surfaced, and fans are connecting the dots, wondering if her death and his arrest are linked. Could 6ix9ine have been involved? Based on what we've seen so far, the timing sure looks suspicious. Let's break it down. The streets lost a true queen that morning when Ariela, just 33 years old, was found dead inside her black Mercedes-Benz G-Class on the Cross County Parkway in Mount Vernon, New York. Police confirmed multiple gunshot wounds, calling it an orchestrated attack, not a random act. Ariela had been returning from her shift at Icon New York Lounge in Manhattan, where she worked as a bartender to support her two daughters. Beyond her work, she was loved online, boasting over 566,000 Instagram followers, and in real life, she had that rare spark that could light up any room. But here's where things get even more intense. Ariela wasn't just any influencer, she was close to 6ix9ine. She appeared in his 2023 Why music video and performed alongside him at venues like Tobogga Room in New York. Fans and followers debated whether she was his girlfriend or a close friend, but one thing's clear: when someone connected to 6ix9ine ends up riddled with bullets, questions start flying, and they aren't pretty. Speculation has been running wild. 6ix9ine, a notorious figure who cooperated against the 9 Trey gangsters, has always had enemies. Anyone close to him could be in the crosshairs, and Ariela's death is raising alarms. To make things even crazier, just 6 days after Ariela's death, 6ix9ine was arrested on August 23, 2025, for violating his supervised release. That timing? Yeah, it's raising eyebrows everywhere.
I don't take no L's. That's why I think that's why people hate me, because I'm so arrogant and but it's just me being like, yo, this is the truth, this is the facts. People hate the facts.
Why are you causing all these problems for yourself, sir?
I don't cause no problem, man, you know what I'm saying? I address them. That's me.
Meanwhile, following these recent events, social media has been buzzing with theories that Ariela's murder was tragically retaliation for 6ix9ine's testimony against gang members. One user summed it up perfectly: "That's why you don't date walking targets." Another kept it 100, saying, "To be in close proximity to him is crazy. Nothing good being said about it." But it gets even deeper. Word is Ariela was also linked to a guy named Natakardia, described as a suspected gang leader who got questioned after her death. Now theories are flying everywhere. Was she targeted because of 6ix9ine's snitching past, or did her own man's gang ties put her in the crosshairs? Either way, this beautiful soul got caught in devastating street politics. The crime scene itself told a story of pure violence. Her vehicle was found with shattered windows and bullet holes, showing someone wanted to make a deadly statement. The Westchester County Police Department brought in local, state, and federal agencies to investigate, showing they were taking this case seriously. Yet with no suspects named and no arrests made, the streets have been filling in the blanks with their own theories about who wanted the Queen of New York dead. What made this tragedy even more heartbreaking was Ariela's final Instagram post on June 7, 2025, saying, "Happy and blessed," showing her enjoying a night out in a cowboy hat. Just 2 months later, she was gunned down like an animal on a highway. The contrast between her joy in that last post and the brutal way she died sent shockwaves through the community, leaving everyone asking, what kind of monster would do this to such a vibrant young mother? When news of Ariela's death broke, 6ix9ine took to Instagram with emotional tributes that had the internet feeling him. He posted multiple videos and photos of them together, calling her a tremendous woman and the Queen of New York. The realest moment was when he said, "You supported me in everything, my sister. NY won't ever be the same. I loved you." He even posted in Spanish, saying, "Yote a and mogra," showing this wasn't just an industry friendship, it was family. The tributes kept coming, set to Ventura's Obsession, which he said was their favorite song. You could feel the pain through those posts. For someone usually trolling and causing chaos, seeing 6ix9ine vulnerable like that hit differently. He called her, "There was no heart more beautiful," and it was clear this loss truly broke him. The hip-hop community and Ariela's work family also poured out love. Cardi B posted a simple but respectful tribute, "R.I.P. Dominican Pretty," honoring a fellow Dominican queen. The clubs where Ariela worked went all out. Icon New York posted, "Today we lost our shining star, Ariela Langosta. Our hearts are broken. Your joy, humility, and the way you treated everyone with care always made you stand out." Opus Lounge shared, With great sadness, we say goodbye to our great friend and companion of so many years. Their light, joy, and presence were part of our best moments. Even the starlets of New York called her a one-of-a-kind soul, a beautiful friend, loving mother, and daughter whose energy lit up every room. But while the tributes poured in, the streets kept talking about the real reason Ariella caught those bullets. The theory making the most noise is that her murder was straight-up retaliation for 6ix9ine's cooperation with the feds. When you snitch on the 9 Trey gangsters like he did, you don't just put yourself at risk, you put everyone around you in danger too. That's real street knowledge that too many tragically learn the hard way. Yet, 6ix9ine still isn't fully in the know.
What's the definition of a snitch?
In this case, the definition, who rats out people that they were tight with, rats them out to law enforcement.
What's loyalty to you, Charles?
Loyalty would be that you don't snitch on the people closest on your friends.
If another TMZ staff member kidnaps you, is that loyal to you? You're working right now. Harvey's stealing all of the money that you're making right now and gives you crumbs of it, but it's taking majority of the money. Is that loyal to you? These are my people. Like, how many people I beefed with in 2018? I beefed with the whole West Coast. I beefed with the Houston. I beefed with Chicago.
Back to Ariella. While some people are pointing fingers at the rapper, most fans have been keeping it 100 in the comment section. On Ariella's Instagram page, people have been dropping hearts, prayers, and tough questions. Rest in peace, beautiful soul, mixed with, he's in jail now. Wonder if it's connected. That kind of real talk shows people aren't just mourning theory piecing the story together. The memorial in Washington Heights outside Opus Lounge was a powerful reminder of the love Ariella had in the community. Jacilia Rodriguez showed up with flowers and said, "I'm very heartbroken, especially knowing she had 2 daughters." Another fan, Anelli Hernandez, kept it real, "It really hurts, you know? Dominican. Such a beautiful soul. Something like this, very, very sad." What's hitting people hardest is how Ariella's murder seems to fit into a bigger pattern of violence that seems to follow 6ix9ine everywhere. From the 2023 gym beating in LA to past incidents that made headlines, this latest tragedy has fans connecting dots and asking the same question: how much of this chaos is connected to the rapper's controversial life?
That's how they gonna treat you. Oh, Mickey's not clown.
Go ahead.
Take a picture.
Go ahead.
Take a picture. I want to be famous now. I want to be famous. Fuck.
Yo, this is Jump 6ix9ine, bro. Yo, homie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm a fan, bro. No, I'm a fan. I'm just saying, bro. I'm a fan, bro. I know, I ain't jumping, bro.
Back to the chaos. From constant threats to now Ariella tragically catching bullets, it's like death just follows this man around. But here's where the story gets even crazier and why the streets have been buzzing that this murder is more than just another senseless killing. Just days after Ariella's death, 6ix9ine finds himself back behind bars. One moment he's posting emotional tributes to his sister, and the next, he's locked up at the same federal facility housing high-profile inmates like Diddy and Sam Bankman-Fried. The feds came through at the Thurgood Marshall United States Courthouse in Manhattan, no games. Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer, the same judge who sentenced him back in 2019, issued the warrant, keeping him detained until November 12, 2025, for his hearing. But what really got him locked up, and why the streets think it's connected to Ariella's murder, is wild. 6ix9ine had been violating his supervised release like it was a hobby. The government cited 3 major violations that had his probation officer heated. First, he took his rainbow-haired self to Las Vegas to perform at the T-Mobile Arena without permission, then outright lied about it when questioned. That's strike 1. Second, he repeatedly failed drug tests, testing positive for methamphetamine twice, though he claimed it was just prescribed Adderall. The feds weren't buying it. Third, he missed a mandatory drug test completely. In federal court, 3 strikes aren't a joke. It gets deeper. Back in March 2025, the feds raided 6ix9ine's Miami mansion, finding 3 MDMA pills and cocaine residue in his bedroom. On July 23, 2025, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of drug possession. Charges related to a gun and fentanyl found in the pool house were dropped because DNA didn't link to him directly. When he appeared in court on August 23, he tried to explain himself, but his excuses were weaker than his snitching game. He said, "I flew up from Florida and woke up late for being tardy," about missing court. On the Vegas trip, I went to perform at the T-Mobile Arena to make a living and thought I had permission. And regarding the drug tests, I tested positive for methamphetamines because of Adderall. The realest moment came when he admitted, "I'm human, bro. I've been jumped for cooperating with the federal government." That line tells you everything about how his snitching has haunted him since 2019. The timing of this arrest has conspiracy theories running wild. Social media is flooded with posts connecting Ariela's murder and 6ix9ine's arrest. Some say the feds locked him up for his own protection, others think they're investigating whether his violations tie into the shooting. Being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn alongside high-profile inmates shows they are taking his safety seriously. To understand why Ariela might have caught those bullets and why 6ix9ine has been looking over his shoulder for years, we have to rewind. Back in November 2018, Daniel Hernandezaka 6ix9ine was snatched by federal authorities in a joint operation targeting the 9 Trey gangsters, a violent subset of the United Blood Nation wreaking havoc in Manhattan and Brooklyn. The indictment was no joke: racketeering conspiracy, firearms offenses, conspiracy to commit murder, and violent crimes. Conviction on all counts meant a minimum of 32 years, up to life in prison. Rather than face trial, 6ix9ine chose to cooperate. U.S. Attorney Jeffrey S. Berman announced, as alleged, this gang, including platinum-selling rap artist Tekashi 6ix9ine, wreaked havoc on New York City with brazen acts of violence. The crimes read like a movie script: paying $20,000 to have Chief Keef shot at, participating in armed robberies in Times Square, and conspiring to kill rivals. On January 23, 2019, the rainbow-haired rapper pleaded guilty to all 9 counts and agreed to cooperate. He admitted, "I joined the 9 Trey Bloods in fall 2017 and paid $20,000 for someone to shoot at Chief Keef outside the W Hotel in Manhattan to scare him." The real snitching came during the September 2019 trial, where 6ix9ine spent 3 full days testifying against 9 Trey members Anthony Harvey Lisson and Algeria Nuke Mac. From that moment, his life and everyone around him has never been the same.
Well, Tekashi 6ix9ine, his last day on the stand was last week, Friday. And he, of course, as you guys know, is testifying about the accused 9 Trey Gangsta Blood members, Anthony Harvellison and Algeria Nuke Mac. Now, he's talking about a lot of different things. And one thing that was part of his testimony was recordings of phone calls and conversations. One call was between Tekashi's former co-defendant, Jamel Mel Murder Jones, and Jim Jones.
This dude named names, detailed the gang structure, and confirmed specific crimes. He called Jamal Murder Jones the Godfather and Kfano Shotty Jordan a high-ranking member. Prosecutors called his cooperation extraordinary and game-changing in street terms. He told everything he knew and then some. His testimony led to convictions for both Lisson and Mack, who now face life sentences. Judge Paul Engelmeyer praised his cooperation, saying, "Your cooperation was impressive. It was game-changing. It was complete, and it was brave," but also called him out as a central figure in a brutal gang that he was sentenced to 2 years in prison with 13 months credited and got released early in April 2020 due to COVID-19 concerns. But that cooperation came with a price 6ix9ine has been paying ever since, and now it looks like Ariela might have paid the ultimate price for being close to him. Federal wiretaps caught 9 Trey members planning to retaliate after he fired his management and dissed them on the radio. The feds warned him about credible threats to his life, which is why they arrested him when they did. Prosecutors warned back then that his life would never be the same because of his cooperation. He and his family have had to take extra safety precautions, and it shows 6ix9ine has been jumped, threatened, and now those close to him are catching bullets. What makes this even more suspicious is how 6ix9ine moved after Ariela's death. The man who usually floods social media went quiet for days after posting tributes, then suddenly got arrested. Some say the feds were watching him closely, waiting for him to slip up. Others think his violations were just an excuse to get him off the streets before he became the next target. The streets have been connecting these dots from day one. When someone with 6ix9ine in snitching history has people around him killed, nothing is coincidence. That August 23rd arrest, just 6 days after Ariela's murder, got everyone asking, do the feds know something we don't? Maybe they locked him up for protection, or maybe they're investigating whether his violations tie into that shooting. All the posts calling 6ix9ine a walking target start to make sense now. And what's really troubling is the ongoing pattern of violence that follows him everywhere, from threats and beatings to revenge attacks, his dark history with women and associates exposed again.
Now, you did an interview with the Daily Beast, and you talked about that throughout your relationship, there was a lot of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Like, at what point in the relationship did the abuse first start?
It happened very early on in our relationship, like maybe a month after I moved in with him. That was the first time he put his hands on me. And I didn't know how to take that. Like, I've never had a guy put their hands on me. This is my first boyfriend. You know, I didn't know how to handle that situation.
But before we wrap this up, we have to talk about 6ix9ine's track record with women, because this pattern has been going on far longer than most realize. While everyone focuses on his snitching and gang ties, he's allegedly been abusive toward women for over a decade. That history gives us some insight into the type of person we're really dealing with. Take Sarah Molina, the mother of his daughter Soraya, who endured 6ix9ine's abuse from 2011 to 2018, 7 long years of hell. In her 2019 interview with the Daily Beast, Sarah shared harrowing details of the abuse that are truly stunning.